We produce beef, goat, and lamb, and we have our own chickens. We raise horses. We have a large garden, and then we have a small farm that's a 45-acre farm with pecans and oaks and grapes and pears and all kinds of things, and we raise our sheep there. And all of this depends upon the use of groundwater. And we're producing all natural grass-fed product that feeds this community or a portion of this community. And I think that fracking, the result of the fracking contaminating that water supply would be catastrophic. For us, it would completely destroy our livelihood, and it would destroy the relationship that we have with the community.
Gusher State LLC is a private oil and gas industry consortium that has leased over 64,000 acres and completed over 1,100 square miles of geophysical survey in Cochise County, Arizona. Gusher State has filed its first 2 permits to drill in the Great Sulphur Springs Valley. These permits were approved on January 31st, 2014.
You know, it's so beautiful. It's like the 4th of July. It's like a Christmas tree. It's like fireflies on a summer night. And I wish I could describe this to you better, but I can't talk very well right now, because I've got this damn gas mask on.
My sense of it is Bisbee has led the state in civil unions. We have led the state in other things. We're a little tiny town, but people pay attention to us. I guess because we say things that other people don't say. And I'm asking that the mayor and council stand up for the people and take this as kind of a preemptive strike to try to get the board of supervisors to protect the county and the people who live in the county so that we have clean air and water. I think it's important. Fracking is really, really dangerous. I think the young man who thinks it's not has not done his homework, because it has ruined many, many, many communities. You look in West Virginia, half the communities are destroyed from fracking, and people diseased from the chemicals used. We're a desert state. There's little enough water for the people. The earthquake in New Mexico is near a fracking site. I mean, the dangers, each gas well requires an average of 400 tanker trucks to carry water and supplies. Each well, 400 tanker trucks on our roads and spewing their gas, just driving it. It takes 1 to 8 million gallons of water to complete each fracturing job. Up to 600 chemicals are used in fracking fluid, including lead, uranium, mercury, ethylene, glycol, radium, methanol, hydrochloric acid, and formaldehyde. 500,000 active gas wells in the United States times 8 million gallons of water per fracking times 18, the times a well can be fracked, is 72 trillion gallons of water. We're not a water state. I mean, you know, it would be great. We don't have floods. We have droughts. You know, we don't have water to serve who lives here hardly. Methane gas and toxic chemicals leach out from the system and contaminate nearby groundwater. The waste fluid is left in open air pits to evaporate, and they release all the volatile organic compounds. You know, it produces natural gas, but We live in Arizona. We have sun and we have wind. And I'd be glad to serve on a committee to work on getting some industry here to develop sun and wind in Cochise County, because I think that's what we need.
We as citizens have less and less rights instead of more and more freedoms. Corporations rule our lives, and they have the power and the money to control the government, and they do. I think people and local governments believe they have no power to preempt state and federal laws that have not protected our communities and health and welfare. So fracking is a really good example of this. Many people across the United States have lost the value of their land, their water, and their health, and they have been powerless to do anything about it. We are now working with the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, or CELDEF. This organization is ready to help the community of Bisbee to protect our rights and the rights of nature to a safe and healthy way of life. They have successfully done this in over 160 towns across the United States.
The letter that is being written, or that's been written, that we're looking at tonight, I believe was written to the Arizona Oil and Gas Conservation Commission. And I just want to let you know that those people probably will throw the letter aside. You know, it won't really do a whole lot of good. It's a nice gesture, but those people are working from the standpoint of economic growth and development, and Stephen Ruzzi, the guy who is the administrator, he has a background from, Texaco, and so these people that we're sending our letter to, addressing the concern, they're not really the people that are going to be protecting our best interests here in our little town. They're going to look at our town and say, well, is there oil there? How much is it worth? We're going to take it if we can, and so we need to be ready, like Maggie said, to stand up for it and to act on a legal basis to protect our resources and our lands and keep our water safe from toxic chemicals and pollution.
The Board of Commissioners for the county had a hearing on the application for a permit from Gusher State LLC. Mr. Carl Rice was invited to speak. He was with Gusher State. He went on to explain in response to a question what areas of the county were of interest for this purpose and if conventional drilling processes would be used. Mr. Rice said that all of the areas were located in the Sulphur Springs Valley area, and clarified that although straight holes would be drilled, meaning vertical, if the flow stopped, fracking would have to be used.
Even though the County Board of Supervisors may not be the regulating agency, they are entrusted by their own mission statement in the county general plan with the responsibility to protect the health and welfare of its residents. Therefore, they should be the main recipient of this letter. Ultimately, we want more than a moratorium on fracking. However, a moratorium may give us time to address the need for a complete ban on any unsustainable business activities that negatively affect our natural resources of water, air, soil, and quality of life in Cochise County, the state of Arizona, city by city.
And I'm just going to read the second paragraph. It says, it is within the purview of the Commission, i.e. the Oil and Gas Commission, to impose appropriate limitations and regulations on this practice, this being fracking, as necessary to protect our water resources, the health and welfare of the surface owners, and the integrity of the oil and gas resources. At this point in time, the Commission does not have specific rules and regulations which clearly regulate this activity and provide the necessary protections. We respectfully request that the Commission exercise its authority pursuant to AAC R-12-7-175.C to impose a ban, instead of the word moratorium, on hydraulic fracturing until appropriate rules and regulations, etc.
You know, we're fortunate right now that we have shallow water in most places. We have no confidence that fracking wouldn't destroy the water table itself. All up and down the Sulphur Springs Valley, we have an amazing amount of agricultural production taking place. Some of those wells are some of the wells are as deep as 1,000 feet. Some of them are 25 and 30 feet deep. And they run the gamut depending on where you are in the valley and how much of that known hydrologic function will be destroyed or disrupted by fracking. Nobody can really say. Nobody really knows. And the people interested in fracking are there to extract natural gas only. And their interests are relatively short term and relatively commodity based, and what we believe in is a long-term sustainable food supply, and I think fracking represents a real serious threat to that. So that's my opinion.